A silver squeeze where the price goes up to $80 or $100 per ounce. Are we imagining things, or could it really happen? Is it something that you're interested in hearing about? I'm getting overwhelmed by emails, text messages from people in this community asking my thoughts on the silver squeeze. We're going to talk about the 4 big factors that will need to be in place for the silver squeeze to occur. And I got a hint for you. 2.5 of them are already in place. We could be heading for some green pastures in the silver price. Let's get started right now. If you want to build something right, what's the first thing you will do? You will build a good, solid foundation. And the first 2 of the 4 factors supporting the silver squeeze are all about that foundation, and the foundation has been laid. Hey, before we talk about that, I want to say thank you to channel sponsor Pimbex, Pimbex. If you want to get your hands on some silver, gold, or platinum group metals, do yourself a favor, check out Pimbex. I always find they have the best prices and the best service, but you need to find that out for yourself. So what is factor number 1 of 4 that will support the silver squeeze that could easily send the silver price to $80 or $100, maybe a lot sooner than you are anticipating? That is the fundamentals, and we will talk about that very briefly because you know them already. The demand for silver is skyrocketing. Solar, electric, from the eastern countries, everywhere we look, there's more and more demand for silver, while at the same time, the supply is shrinking. The amount of silver available to supply the increasing demand is actually shrinking. The amount of silver being dug out of the ground right now, every year, is shrinking. So yes, check that box. Number 1 of 4. We have fundamental support for the silver price. What about factor number 2, a new pricing regime? Again, we could talk for hours about the fact that the COMEX and the LBMA have manipulated down the price of silver for decades, but that is all changing now with the emergence of India, China, the other BRICS countries that are the new regime, the new sheriff in town when it comes to the silver price. The Shanghai Gold Exchange is taking over. Does it explain why silver in China costs $4 per ounce more right now? So can we check box number 2? We checked fundamentals, number 1. We can now check box number 2, a new pricing regime. You're going to need more than 2 out of 4 of these factors to catalyze this massive potential silver short squeeze. And like I said at the beginning, we have 2.5 of the 4 factors in place. The half factor right now is a big short position. Look, the top analysts are all saying that there's a near historic level of shorts on the silver market, in the paper market, in the electronic market, where millions, some say billions, more paper ounces are traded every day, every month than actually exist. Multiples more than the mining companies are able to produce every year. But the bottom line is we do have that big short position in place. These big bullion banks, big dealers have sold silver with the idea that they'll buy it back at a later date for a lower price. That puts them in a little bit of a predicament, as we've seen silver rise over the last 3 or 4 months from around $22, $23 an ounce up to as high as $32 per ounce. So we got the fundamental factor in place. We've got the new pricing regime in place, and we have half of the short position in place. And why do I say half? Well, because we'll need those shorts to cover to really send the price of silver skyrocketing. Gold too, but we're focused on silver right now. So what could be the catalyst to make that happen? It could be a break at the COMEX, a break at the LBMA, forcing the price of silver to be realized through the physical market. But what's factor number 4? Factor number 4 would be expanding Western investor demand. Because remember, number 1, the fundamentals are in place. Number 2, we do have a new pricing regime. Number 3, right, the gun is loaded. The big bullion banks have a massive short position. So that last 1.5 factor, right, the buying back of the short positions, but that could even be more exaggerated by exploding investor demand in the West, because nobody in the West except us is invested in silver and gold. So if the investors start to come back, and that pushes the price up into the mid 30s, up into close to $40 per ounce, at that point, right, the big shorts, the big banks that have these massive short positions could easily panic and find it necessary to attempt to cover their shorts, buy it back, which would add even more buying and more fuel to the price of silver. Hey, thank you for joining me today. Let's say thanks to our mining company sponsors, First Mining Gold and Fortuna Silver. Without the support of the sponsors, Ron's Basement wouldn't be possible. I hope that after watching this, you have a little clearer picture on how the silver short squeeze could easily play out. Remember, we got the fundamentals. We've got the new pricing regime. The short position is there. Now we just need the catalyst, which easily could be any of the 3 mentioned, right? The fundamentals, the new pricing regime, or even Western investor demand exploding, which could force this massive short position to need to be covered. And we could see $80 or $100 silver. Have a great day. I'll look forward to seeing you soon.